Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for November 21st, show number 109.
The week before Thanksgiving.
The pre-Thanksgiving show, yeah. I think
that's right.
About last year, this would have been Thanksgiving.
Maybe.
Because it was early. Thanksgiving's late this year. Tonight, we have the Toledo Speedway champions in the studio with us tonight.
Yay.
Mike Young, Greg Stilwell, Matt Ringer. We'll be talking to them about their successful seasons. Mike Young, a return visitor, so he knows the deal. He's been here before. Coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube Live, Twitter, and Periscope from the Ron Miller Race Cars studio. And coming up on the show tonight, got a little bit of news for you. Not too much happening, so we'll mostly be spending the show with these guys. Also, how many coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, last week's how many got interesting at the end of that.
Did it?
That game, yeah. The big fight and people suspended. Yeah. So we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And also determine who the winner was.
We're going to talk about
Spoiler
football?
alert. Spoiler alert.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But you picked last.
I did.
I think you had an unfair advantage. Again.
I don't think I did with that one.
Cheater.
I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Cheater.
Scoring. We're going to talk a little bit of hockey later tonight, too.
Really?
As a matter of fact, yeah. Little spoiler there for tonight's how many.
Oh, okay.
Since there's not much racing going on, it's hard to do how many is without a lot of racing. How many people show up at the banquet?
Yeah.
Seems pretty lame.
Well, Rusty's down in
Duck River.
Duck River.
Yeah, we'll be talking about his new project as well. It's tonight's the day. Is it tonight? I think I saw a picture.
Yeah, he's down there
debuting his new car.
And I think tonight's a practice night, which
is that what it is?
Should work out well for him.
All right. Well, make sure to give Ron Miller Race Cars a call, 734-856-7223. He's got race cars, parts, safety equipment service. Did you ever sell that, was it a Grand National car that you had or something?
Yes.
Oh, you did sell that now?
I did. Actually, there is a competing speed shop that bought them, and they're kind of yard art. And
you have a lot of yard art.
Well, the yellow Nash isn't out front anymore either. So
where'd that go?
Out back.
Did it find a new home or
new home? Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, I guess.
Just room for another car to sit back there.
That's right. I'm looking for another project.
Okay, I got some for you.
I'm thinking maybe a Jeep, a vintage Jeep.
Okay. Keep us updated on that. 734-856-7223. That's Ron Miller Race Cars. Christmas is coming up, so gift cards. Yeah, got any Black Friday sales coming up?
No, but we do have...
We're going to be off next week,
We got gift certificates, and we could discount them. 10% off.
Is that now through Black Friday? Or
now, oh, sure, now through Black Friday.
There you go. It's a Black Friday sale at Ron Miller Race Cars.
That's right, 10% off on gift certificates.
There you go. Call now. 734-856-7223. Actually, don't do that.
Don't
now
call
that'll
me.
ring at your shop, though. It's not going to ring here.
Well, it could, but
okay.
My help is there, but yeah, don't do that.
Well, last week was championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. The final weekend that the championship weekend is going to be held down there for NASCAR next year. It'll be at ISM Raceway out in Phoenix, which will always be Phoenix Raceway, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, I looked up to see what that ISM stands for, and I found 3 different answers on the internet.
Sounds like it should be like International
Speedway Promotions or
Motors.
Something. Yeah.
Manufacturing.
Yeah, but...
what is it?
Something racing.
Darned if I can remember, but it doesn't matter because the internet had 3 different answers.
Okay. Did you pick the best one?
Yeah.
If anybody's watching us on Facebook, and leave a comment if you know what ISM stands for in ISM Raceway.
Pick one of the 3.
Not yard art, projects in progress.
Okay.
Todd Bircher.
Todd Bircher. Nice guy. Good customer of Ron Miller Race Cars.
Oh, well, Todd, give Ron a call. Get some gift cards for 10% off.
That's it. Nothing says Happy Thanksgiving like a gift card.
So you could get a $1,000 gift card for $900.
Yes, sir.
That's a pretty good deal.
It is.
Get a $10,000 gift card for $9,000.
That's it.
So the more you spend, the more you save.
Yeah.
Sound like a commercial.
I've heard that logic
Have you?
on TV. Didn't work there either, Scott. Nice try.
It's like wife logic when they go and shopping.
don't-
I spent a lot of money, so I saved more.
Yeah, don't go there.
It's a tough sell.
I'm not married, so I don't have that problem. Sorry, Kathy. Gander Outdoor Truck action on Friday night. Matt Crafton.
Good race.
He, I didn't get to see any of it. He earned himself the championship despite not winning all year.
We will have Matt on the show over the winter.
This week?
No, over the winter.
Okay. We're going to get him in the studio?
I don't know.
Where's his home? Because I know the shop's in Sandusky.
He lives in California,
Okay.
but he does make trips to Sandusky, so maybe we could coordinate that, but for sure we'll have him on the show.
Okay. Todd Gilliland, we were talking about this before the show. He smoked a fox that ran out on the track, did some damage to his truck. Still managed a top 5 finish. Austin Hill was the winner of Friday's race, though. But congratulations to Matt Crafton on the championship.
Yeah, they were a happy bunch.
Saw him in the area running. Well, he runs on the dirt quite a bit with his modified. Was at Oakshade for the Summer Nationals. Did he run any other Summer Nationals? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can tell us.
Of course, ran the dirt like everybody else. Well, pretty much
Right.
everybody else at Eldora, the Dirt Derby. Xfinity Series. Was that an exciting race?
That was a really great race. I'm talking slide jobs. It was an excellent race.
Well, they had some dirt racers out front there, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
We
Ty-
were here with the
Tyler-
asphalt guys talking dirt racing on asphalt.
Tyler Reddick was very impressive. They were running right on the wall, drop down past the car, slide back up to the wall. Great car control.
Now, you guys don't run close to the wall. Toledo Speedway is
You
pretty
hope
much
not to
inside.
run up by the wall.
Yeah, if you're up by the wall, you're in the
you got a
styrofoam
problem up there.
You're probably feeling something.
You can eat that styrofoam wall up there if you're up that high.
Yeah.
I know at least one of you have made friends with the wall. Have all of you made
Yeah.
friends with the
I
wall?
think
Okay.
if you raced at Toledo, you've made friends
I've
with the
probably
walls.
put 2 or 3 clips on the one car that I got already.
So walls are bad.
They come up fast.
Well, if you're running the bottom and then you shoot up to it, you got all that momentum to get up there. But if you're running right around the top and you
If
have
you're
to
running,
hit it,
if you're up there, you might as well be on dirt because the marbles are about as.
well, that's a problem.
Yeah,
too.
they're probably worse than dirt.
So Tyler Reddick ended up winning Saturday at Miami to earn his second consecutive Xfinity Series championship. He became the first driver in the Xfinity Series to win back-to-back championships with different race teams, JR Motorsports last year and Richard Childress Racing this year.
And he's going to Cup next year, isn't he? With
Yeah.
Childress?
He's going to fill the 8.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys moving around.
Ooh, yeah.
Cole Custer's moving up.
Suarez, as far as I
Suarez
know,
is out.
He's without a ride right
I think
now.
that's Cole Custer's replacing him, I believe, at Stewart.
They were
Haas.
saying that
Yeah.
he'll probably go to the Xfinity car. He'll probably have to step down. But she's not
So-
very happy about that.
He,
But
he was a
Maybe
little
do a
upset.
swap.
He was upset because he said he was bringing a lot of money to the table.
From what I
So-
read, that fell through or something. He didn't
it
have
wasn't
the money.
up front at the time that the whole deal
it
went
was.
through. It was going to be later in the season, but
So again, it doesn't matter how you drive; it's what you bring to the table as far as money.
pretty much.
Is it that way for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
If you have no tire money, you ain't racing anyway.
Yeah.
Or you just race on used tires very carefully and try not to use them.
That's
up.
not
Not
even
very
run
fast,
that.
though.
Well,
We'll see in a couple laps. Yeah.
Dirt's a little different. You can run on the same tire for weeks.
Kyle Busch won on Sunday to become the Cup Series champion for the second time. The first time had a little asterisk by it because that was the year that he had that crash at Daytona and broke his
and
feet
NASCAR put him in the chase because
of the extenuating circumstances.
Right.
And he was able to meet whatever the criteria they said. I think it was a win, and
yeah,
And so many points.
yeah, and he managed to get
do
that.
it even though he didn't go to all the races.
So he didn't feel, or he felt like there was an asterisk by that championship. So I think this one kind of
Validated it.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Hamlin's championship hopes were dashed after his car began overheating. There was a lot of sloppy mistakes in the pits.
Yeah, there were.
The pit crew slapped too much tape on the front of his car, and it started overheating, so he had to come in and pit again.
Quick. I mean, like 3 or 4 laps.
It was a geyser. It was shooting out
Yeah.
the overflow there. That was probably not so good. I wonder how many F words or F bombs were coming out of his mouth to his crew there.
Crew chief told him to do it. Everything rises and falls on leadership, Scott.
Martin Truex also had issues as well in the pits when his tires, left side, right side tires were I think it was like left front, right rear or something weird like that.
Got swapped.
Yeah.
The car was awful.
Well, that'll probably happen. I think that would happen with any car at any level. Because usually you run right side bigger than the left side.
Here's a little secret. There's some of the Fremont truck guys that run reverse stagger on the back. How they get away with it, I don't have a clue.
Are they winning trucks?
Yeah.
Does Sean do this? Sean Valenti?
I don't think Sean does. I don't think. We should have pumped him on that last week.
Well, I didn't know this. You
Yeah.
you didn't share this golden nugget with me.
You know, it's some of the stuff that stumbles in our door.
Okay. That seems counterproductive. I don't understand how that would work.
Yeah, well, it's like a marching band going around the corner. You know, the guy on the inside takes tiny little steps, and the outside guy's running his butt off. Race cars are the same way. So, I don't know.
My outside tires are running their little butts off.
That's it.
Get around the corner. Inside tires are going, come on! Yeah, that's pretty much it for...
And that cup race was the
NASCAR
snoozer
season.
of the weekend.
And that was the only one I got to watch, so...
Sorry.
That's all right. It's my life. A couple other racing notes here. Jimmy Johnson announced he's going to retire after next season in his 18-year Cup career so far.
You know, for all practical purposes, he's retired now. Do you realize it's been
Because he hasn't won in
It's been
forever?
97 races since he won a race, and if you count next year's 36 where he's not going to win, that's 133. And if you count the non-points race, it'll be 134 since he won.
And that ranks right up there with the who nobody cares.
Yeah,
Should have gave up about a year ago.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Lowe's backed out.
I was never a real Jimmy Johnson, not a
Well,
real
you know,
Kyle
and-
Busch fan. Congratulations, Kyle Busch, for winning the championship. And Jimmy Johnson, just because I'm not very fond of him. He's obviously a really good racer, 7 championships, up there with Dale
Yeah.
Sr. So I mean,
the chemistry for some reason hasn't been there. Don't know.
didn't they switched crew
Yeah,
chiefs?
oh, they did.
Chad Knaus is with who now?
Byron.
Is that Brian? Yeah, the 24.
This year, didn't it?
Maybe they should switch back.
I don't think Chad wants to go back.
He doesn't like Jimmy Johnson either. Is that it? What?
There might have been some chemistry lost there, and yeah.
Well, anyway, he has accomplished 7 championships, 83 wins, 36 poles, 227 top fives, and 651 starts. That's not even close to how many races you've been in, is it?
Probably not.
What's your count? I know you keep track.
No.
Yeah, you
I
do.
Don't, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, you just don't want to admit it. Kyle Larson beat out Christopher Bell in USAC National Midget Series action at Elk Grove Ford Hangtown 100 at the Elk Grove Ford Hangtown 100. Placerville Speedway in California last night. Kofoid, I believe that was last night. Kofoid, Buddy Kofoid finished 18th in that race too.
Oh, okay.
Buddy's out there in California racing in his hometown.
Back home.
Or home state. So pretty cool there. Dirt car racing officials announced on Tuesday that Dryden Performance Products has been named the title sponsor of the Dryden Extreme Dirt Car Series ahead of its winter season opener on this Sunday, actually, November 24th at Cherokee Speedway.
I saw that Sammy Swindell is racing in his 47th year. Eat your heart out, Jimmy Johnson.
What would next year be for you?
Oh, my.
Are you up there? Are you beyond Sammy Swindell in
yeah.
Rangers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like 60.
60 years. That's actually probably not too far off.
You're a real smart ass, but let me tell you, you're not real far off. I think it's 55.
All right, so Sammy Swindell's got a few years to catch up to Ron Miller.
I think this year was 55.
So next year will be 56.
You don't know.
10 more years, you can file for unemployment.
The race car can file for Social Security, yeah.
Rusty Schlenk revealed last week his new chassis.
It's been in the works a while.
It's been in the works for a while because the Rayburn thing kind of
CJ
out of it.
is leaving, yeah.
And so Rusty Schlenk is now building cars from the ground up himself, called Domination Race Cars, and you can find them on Facebook. I saw his wife posted a Facebook Live video of him driving the very first Domination race car
around the block,
down the street. Yeah, so pretty cool deal there for
him.
You know
that happens,
and and that's we talked at the top of the show. He's running Duck River with that car this weekend, tonight.
Alabama, Mississippi.
Somewhere down south where it's a lot warmer than here. Although today wasn't too bad other than the rain, but whatever. So that's really all the news I have.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, not much going on.
Okay.
Kind of the slow time before
we got some really nice guests in the studio. So
that's it. That's the show for tonight. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate it.
No problem. Absolutely.
Going to talk some pavement racing and... with us again tonight, Toledo Speedway champions Mike Young, late model sportsman champion, late model sportsman Silver Cup champion Greg Stilwell, and Matt Ringer, factory stock champion Toledo. And he wore his cool jacket in. I didn't see if you guys had the cool jacket. You guys got cool jackets too, right?
I had my walleye sweatshirt on,
which was cool too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But
I busted out my new.
I saw. Where's ours?
Yeah.
If you bring it,
yeah.
We'll wear it.
Size large, right, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time.
Pair of them, but that's okay.
Absolutely.
Just drop it off and you go pick up your parts next time.
Send them over with your dad.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's start off talking with Mike here. Mike was in, was it last October? A year ago, October, I think we had you in. So you know how to get things done, right? How would you rate your 2019 championship season? How does it compare to your first championship? This is your second championship.
This is my second. First year we didn't have any problems, and we didn't have a motor blowing up, and I didn't have a backup car. And we were running the first Silver Cup race, and we blew up, and I thought my season was already done, or just done already. And we went back and we said, well, we'll pull the CRA car out, and we only ran that car twice, IRP and Winchester last year, and I already knew that we were already going to probably struggle with it, and we worked on it just a little bit and got it close enough to run Toledo, and then we went to Flat Rock, and we found something there. Broke track record twice there, and then
so a little bit better than you expected.
Yeah, and whenever we go to Flat Rock, it's always a struggle. It's never a good day when we go to Flat Rock. But we unloaded and probably ran 3 or 4 laps, and we were top 3 in practice. And I just parked it and said, well, we'll just go for qualifying. And it was toss up. Do I go for the pole, get 10 points, or kind of lag back and try to get heat race points? And I just kind of just ran out there, and I wasn't even expecting to run that lap. It was nice and smooth and broke track record. I was like, wow.
So this is a whole separate car.
This is a totally different car.
You didn't just take the engine out and put it in.
No, this is one that was just sitting on jack stands.
So why didn't you just swap the engine then into?
We had to still put sheet metal on the front end. The suspension was ripped off.
Oh, okay.
The nose.
So you had other issues besides just the engine.
When the engine broke, it wasn't just the engine.
Yeah, the front clip is swung over a little bit, and
that'll help it turn, right?
Yeah, connecting
little guys on the outside marching faster.
Connecting rod came out and bent the frame.
Yeah, but I think we had a week from 1 week to the next.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any time to put the front suspension, and it's just been more of a headache to even get that car back to where it was, and so we just kind of just winged it, just taking it there off our old setup close enough, and I think we finished third or fourth that night.
So you ran the CRA car the rest of the season?
The rest of the year, yeah, and the other car's still sitting on jack stand. There's oil still dripping off it.
Now, have you run the CRA car anywhere else?
No, we're gonna run IRP in Winchester, and I decided I'm not gonna take that car there, and then something else happens, and then if it gets wrecked or blown up,
then you've got
two
two of them to
cars in the
fix.
hole, and then just more of a mess.
I understand.
But so we'll just try to go back to back next year.
So at the beginning of the season, before the original issue,
Yeah.
was the original plan to go for the point championship?
We're gonna shoot for both of them, and one don't work out, you try hardest for the next one, and the rest of the year was actually a tough battle. There was no walk away. It was close points. You had a points race every week, and you had to try to stay out of the way, but still try to race to get points. And I think it came down to like 20 points at the end. That's still pretty close. That's a heat race deal or qualifying points. And the only thing that helped was the last, I think, 2 weeks we qualified on the pole, so that's extra 20 points there so that kind of helped.
You were talking that we had to fix the car and we did this. Who is we?
Well, in the shop during the week is me, Dad, and Billy. He comes over to the shop, and we work on a car throughout the week at the shop. But then at the track, we got Matt comes there and his dad, and my buddy Jimmy, and it's usually us 4 or 5 guys at the track throughout the week.
All right. Radio spotter and all of that.
Dad's a spotter, and Matt and
That's right. You guys got spotters?
yeah.
What the hell?
There's sometimes that
And rear view mirrors too, right?
I don't look at mine. I usually
But you
flip
have
mine.
them, right?
I have mine, but I usually flip mine up. So that's one less
Really?
thing I have to worry about.
Do you have a mirror like on the inside to see if
Nope.
anybody's poking their nose
That's
in there?
one more distraction you got to worry about.
Okay.
And there's sometimes that spotter up top gets annoying a little bit. You turn,
You
down
turn it down.
you turn it down a little bit, but
That happens.
he deals with his dad too, so you just turn it down a little bit.
Yep.
But
So was there any other issues you had to overcome this year besides that initial engine?
just the
crack?
engine blowing up, and then taking a newer car to us and learning that car throughout the last 6 weeks, and we learned a lot in those 6 weeks, and I think we have a good baseline for their next year. So
So is that going to be the primary car then going into next year?
it's going to be a toss of a coin to figure out what we're going to do next year on what car we're going to start out with.
Well, you still haven't fixed the other car yet.
No, it's still sitting there, but we might change it or do some update to it while it's already ripped apart. But
I'm guessing you may have gotten some ideas from
off one to another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
but we might not change much on the other one. It's pretty much well proven. But
proven. That guy
Yeah.
likes that word. So you didn't run any other tracks other than Toledo and Flat Rock this year?
we went to Winchester for the 400 weekend and watched
Oh.
and partied instead of.
How'd you finish there?
It was very
Face
cold.
down?
Under the bus.
Well, we were covered up pretty much. It was
It was cold.
it was low of 30s and a high of like 55, raining. So the only day it was really warm was Sunday at like 65. Watched the race, but I drank enough beer to keep you warm.
So other than the engine incident, what was the worst thing that happened to you at the track this past season? Other than that,
The heat race got clipped in the left rear and backed it into the wall in the heat race, and the rear clips bent down into the whole rear end, and we had enough time because the guy that hit the wall had to get not life flighted out, but taken out in the ambulance. So I think we had about 20, 25 minutes to at least get it straightened around, body kind of put back together, so we can at least run the heat, get points. I think we finished second or third that night in the heat.
so you were able to get the car fixed after that wreck before
Yeah.
they went back green flag.
And then we won that night.
Really, with a bent up rear end.
It was bent up. It was all.
Yeah, but there's nothing smart behind the behind the rear axle anyway. So, and it's a couple of body mounts and a fuel cell.
And a fuel cell. Yeah.
How much does aero play into
A lot. Ton.
just on the rear end at least? I mean, did that
There's
mess
no
up?
rear bumper on the back. That's helping the car there.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Unless they were out from underneath.
And there was nothing left of it. It was all ripped apart. There's no point of.
What about your spoiler? Did you have that left? Or?
Although I made sure the spoiler was there because there would be no bite there if I didn't have no spoiler. But we made sure it was up and tight and stiff so that spoiler wouldn't go nowhere.
So maybe you should figure out a way to slide up, get into the wall, and have your rear bumper cover just come off.
Oh, I'm sure there'd be a couple of people already be looking at that going through tech. Make sure it don't
That's
fall
frowned
off.
upon.
Yeah.
Okay. What was this about you going through an Arby's drive-through with the race car?
Oh, when we
Did that really happen?
Yeah, when we were sponsored by Chubby's, they were out in Sylvania and they were parked right next to it. And I fired right up and drove right through Arby's drive-through to put it in the trailer.
Oh, you didn't get any food or anything?
There was a long line at lunch. I wasn't going to sit there and keep it running, but scared a lot of people, though.
When was this?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, two years ago, yeah.
A lot of people going, hey, look at
They're
that.
like this, like, well, there's a race car just drive right by through us, But,
You
the
ever-
trailer was parked on the backside and the car was out by the road, and I just drove it around.
You ever drive your race car on the streets?
Probably 6 years ago when we took it to Powertrain, we had to park down all the way at the end there, and that's the only way to get down there is drive it down Jackman and through the whole park to park up front. So that was about the only time I drove it on the road.
I don't know if that counts.
You asked if I drove
I
on
did.
the road.
I did ask. That is true. I don't know if that counts though, but we'll accept that.
Well, when I ran Arca Trucks, we had the post office down the street, and I was breaking in the clutch and the trans. I took it down to the post office and back before we went to Anderson.
To deliver the mail.
I had to come back quick because the Sylvania cops were coming around the corner. But I think that's about it. The only time I really drove it on the road. But
Okay. It's probably not recommended.
no,
I've seen it done a lot though.
if you're out,
I know somewhere else they drive cars down the road.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything. He's got some long fields out there. You can.
Yeah,
Country roads.
yeah, and we haven't seen a police officer in our part of Michigan for a long time.
They'll be there now.
Yeah, they'll be waiting.
They'll be waiting for you when you go home. So what are your plans then for next year? Just defending the title? then?
We're gonna try to go. If they do have the Silver Cup, go try to win both again. But I think
How come you didn't win the Silver Cup?
blew up.
Greg did.
Because Greg did?
I took care of that for him.
Okay.
The night that we blew up was on the first
Did-
Silver Cup. I think we finished 7th or 8th that night.
Did the Silver Cup races then count towards your championship as well? Okay.
Yeah.
But the Silver Cup was just the 3-race series.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, there was 2 at Toledo and 1 at Flat Rock.
Flat Rock, yeah.
Do you have a favorite between the two, a preference of those two tracks?
Well, now Flat Rock.
Now Flat Rock. Because you set the track record.
Yeah, we're getting closer, but we kind of set the car up on a long run, and knowing that there wasn't very many cars, we just figured there wouldn't be much cautions. Well, you get one guy all by himself, spins by himself. I don't know how you do that 2 or 3 times or
Seems like it
destroys.
happens a lot.
Yeah,
Ask Bubba Wallace.
We must go to different
Yeah.
We must go to different racetracks if you've never seen anybody spin by themselves.
You just don't expect it that often.
Yeah, true.
but yeah,
So Flat Rock became your favorite this year.
yeah.
Sponsors, tell us about them.
I got my cheat sheet because
Oh man.
I got so many of them, and I forgot them at the banquet too.
Ooh.
And they pay for your tires, right?
Yeah, and the one I forgot did pay for a bunch of tires this year. We got Bellis Buick GMC, Raised Door, Remax Preferred Associates, Denny's Timeout Tavern, Jugs Bowling Center, Hart's Machine Shop, One Stop Speed Shop, Bill Chris Cremine, Tyler's Gun, and X Factor Racing Photos.
How come you don't have jugs on your car? That didn't sound right.
Oh, I
How
don't-
come you don't have Jugs Bowling Center on your car?
How do you know I've never had forget? I'm not-
TMI. All right, let's just move on from that. I've been asking this question of all of our champions. We've had the Fremont champions. Last week was Oakshade champions. We've been asking them this question. Who would win in a race of equally prepared minivans between you three here? You, Greg, or Matt? Equally prepared. It's like an IROC race of minivans around Toledo Speedway, we'll say.
Big
Starting
tracker,
three
big
wide.
tracker,
half
little
mile or
track.
quarter mile.
Yeah, you'll
Both scenarios. Both scenarios.
Oh,
Well, the quarter mile, probably Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, okay.
It'll be pretty close.
Yeah.
It'll probably come down the line. We've got a couple of heat races
Yeah.
that come down the line close. But
whoever has to lift for whatever reason, I think is.
no, I think
determining
I think
factor.
that's.
I don't think
I
you're
don't
going to
think
lift in a
that's going to
minivan.
have to
I
happen.
guess the guy on the bottom ain't gonna
Yeah.
lift.
Yeah.
He's gonna use the outside, so whoever gets to the bottom first is gonna be the one who be winning the race.
Hopefully that front wheel drive doesn't push too much up in the corner.
Or like you guys want to run up by the wall.
There you go.
Yeah.
You get the
Well,
keep the momentum going in the
Well, we got
minivans.
the
Just use the
styrofoam
wall
walls
and
up
get it
there, you
wound
know.
up.
So
Minivans with sideboards.
There we go.
Outlaw minivans.
you bring that to the hangover race. You'll,
I've
Good
seen a
one.
minivan
You'll
at the
have plenty of
hangover
those.
race. I think I still have a
Yeah.
picture. I took a picture one year. It was a six-cylinder minivan or something. It looked ridiculous.
I seen them do some race where they had just skid plates for rear wheels. So they'd
Oh, those are crazy.
drive and, yeah, I like that. Talk about spinning by themselves. It's like all half the field is doing most of the time.
Mav TV. Those are
Yeah, I
crazy.
think it was that.
Yeah.
Where they show a bunch of random oddball races. And
probably not in the United States, though. I'm sure it's on the other side of the world.
it
No.
might have been.
So
I don't
anyway,
remember where, but
back to the minivan. So Matt on the
Quarter
the
mile.
quarter
Yeah,
mile,
absolutely.
and it's between you
It'll be
two.
a tie, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll call it a toss up.
we'll accept that.
Dead heat.
Be a photo finish on this one.
All right. Well, let's move on to Greg Stilwell Jr. You won the Late Model Sportsman Silver Cup. It's, I guess, was your first ever championship?
Correct.
Surprising. And you also got your first feature win.
Yep.
This-
All on the
this
same
season.
night.
All on the same night.
Yeah. It was a little.
Well, we locked up the points in this on that
Yeah,
night.
yeah. It was pretty.
Pull that microphone down in front of your mouth. Yeah, there we go.
Pretty exciting. Sorry about that, Matt. Yeah, it was pretty neat. We came in thinking that we probably just had to finish to win the championship, and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, it just doesn't feel right without a W, and so not that made us try any harder. We try hard every single night. However, getting the W was kind of like the icing on the cake, getting both of them at the same time.
You and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, right. I don't know if we're on the same level, but
Makes more
close.
sense.
yeah, yeah,
So that win came the final night of the Gold Cup Series then?
correct.
Was that Toledo or Flat
Toledo.
Flat Rock? Okay.
Yep.
So were you happy to get the win, your first win at Toledo then?
Absolutely, it's something that I've dreamt about for a long time. I got a B main win up at Flat Rock, and that was pretty cool. And we've been doing this for 17 years, so
was gonna
it's
ask.
like, man, are we ever gonna get our turn at this? And we've had decent cars. We've never really been super fast, just fast enough to be competitive and be in the top 5 a lot. And I always race the consistency factor most of the time, but we spent a little time in the off season with our shocks and got a little bit of help from Younger Motorsports, and we seem to have turned the page. So we're excited.
What kind of help did you get? What was
Well, we're not going
what
to
was the big
disclose
di-
that information, but
What information can you disclose?
we could
that-
definitely say it has something to do with the car.
So other than, I guess, what can you say that was different this year as years prior that has contributed to the success for you this year?
Mostly having a handling car. I always felt like if I could get in a car that was competitive, that I would be able to race with the likes of Mike and Ron and Howard and all the guys that are up there on a weekly basis. So we just never had that opportunity equipment-wise. So felt like that was our biggest downfall. So having a car that would turn the corner, and we've always had a decent motor, it just made all the difference.
So were you happy to beat Mike here then?
Absolutely.
I bet he was.
Did you rub it in his nose at all?
Well,
Or-
one of the best parts of it was that I always said too that I didn't want to win unless the guys that were consistently winning on a weekly basis were on the track. I didn't want to win on a default, like, oh, Mike got in a wreck, or Ron blew a motor, or whatever the case may be. I wanted to go out there and do it when everybody was on the track, so it just wasn't a fluky kind of thing. So it was pretty cool to do that, and if I'm not mistaken, we handily took care of it that night.
So were you also going for the regular late model sportsman championship as well?
We were not. The beginning of the season, we missed the first race because we hadn't gotten our motor back. So
That is a problem.
We were kind of behind the 8-ball right from the start, and so kind of like how Mike refocused his ideas, we did as well, and we're like, okay, well, we'll just see what we can do. And also, like Mike, Flat Rock is not my favorite place in the world to be racing at, so we seem to struggle there a lot, and finding a top 5 finish there was really the key. If we would have gotten out of the top 5, I don't think that it would have been a championship there.
So you prefer Toledo Speedway to
Absolutely.
Flat Rock? What or why, I guess, would you prefer
Well,
Toledo?
Flat Rock's I'm getting better at it, but Flat Rock is a huge throttle control track. You can't just mash it and go. You got to really play with it to find your bite off. And
So he who has the biggest engine isn't going to be the one
not
that wins at Flat
necessarily.
Rock.
No, that doesn't matter there.
Okay.
You want to get your tire patch on the ground and go. So if you can figure that out, you'll be successful. And I think Mike's got that figured out.
Greg, who helps you with the car?
Well, my dad first and foremost helps me. He's in the shop relentlessly working on the car. I think that it might be one of the only things in life that he looks forward to doing. So, yeah, he pretty much hangs out in there all the time. And then my spotter, Randy Randall, he also comes out and helps, does a lot of the body stuff, decals, and then he's also my spotter. So those are my main guys, and then as of late, we've had Brad Yunker coming out and giving us a hand on setups.
So you turn down your spotter radio too?
I think everybody does. There comes a time where you want to go, and they maybe are a little more conservative, and you're trying to get up there and get something done. So
Now, can you talk back to them?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's NASCAR style radios.
I just know we're not. We have one-way radios. We're not
Yeah.
allowed to. We can yell and scream as much as we want. Nobody's going to hear it.
to listen to. Right?
That's how he yells at us. Yeah.
No, I like this idea. It's be much better. What about your mirrors? Do you ever look at your mirrors? Do you just flip them
I
up
also
too?
do not often use the rear. I might every once in a while be like, "Hey, there it is. I'll take a peek out of it." And it's kind of the same on the inside mirror. I every once in a while I'll look at it, but most of the time I'm focusing out the window and trying to do
Hitting
what
your
I
marks
do.
and
Yeah.
everything. Is it easier to pass at either Flat Rock or Toledo, or is it kind of the same? Or
Toledo's probably easier, I would say. Flat Rock for me, you got to be really good. Both tracks you got to be good on the outside to pass, but Flat Rock especially, you got to have it together. You'd be hung out there for a long time trying to make a pass.
The street stock guys up there seem to have a few of them that can run on the outside, but
Yeah.
with the late models and the sportsmen, I've noticed that
Kind of get in line and
it's
get
really
as much
tough.
as you can get early while everybody's trying to figure out what they
And
got.
if the guy
and
in
then
front of you messes up, then
You can
you're good.
capitalize on
But
that.
yeah, absolutely.
do you have any bad luck that you had to overcome this season?
Really, it was probably one of the best seasons that we've had, and other than the motor at the beginning of the season, and we were really on Chuck Noonan to get us our stuff, and he was trying, but he's a busy man. He does a really good job and gives us
He's making a lot of motors for a lot of people.
He gives us a great motor, so I'm definitely not mad about it. Wish we could have had it a little earlier. I think we could have been up there contending with the way the car was handling this year for the overall as well. So
what's the difference between a regular late model sportsman race and one of the Silver Cup? I think I was calling it Gold Cup, Silver Cup races.
Purse.
Is that
Well, this year the purses, it was the same.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't change it.
They didn't have a title sponsor. So.
Does it bring in any
The biggest
other
thing-
competitors at all? I mean,
No.
Typically not.
so what is the difference other than it's a solo cup race and it's a different
Just
Well,
the
sometimes
prestige.
laps is about it. I mean, maybe they'll. When we first started doing the
used to
Silver
be
Cup, it used to
50.
be 50 laps, and they've since cut it back. I mean, some of that's been car count and everything else, but
They were worried about the tires too this
yeah,
year.
we had a lot of issues with tires, so
So they cut it. They cut a lot of races.
yeah.
No, I get a chance to talk to a lot of racers. Are you on the same tire program next year, or don't we know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think that tire's gonna be around for a while.
yeah.
Didn't they just change the tire rule before this past season? Wasn't there some talk of tires?
Well, this was the first season with
Right.
those
Yeah.
800s,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the verdict on these tires from you guys?
I have no problem with them.
Yeah, I don't.
Love hate.
Yeah,
What was that,
than-
Matt?
Love hate.
Love hate. Okay,
Car handle's great, but they're very fragile.
you're on the
Yes,
same
it is.
tires in the
Yeah.
factory stock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like if you don't put enough heat cycles in that tire, the tire ain't gonna last and it's gonna start ripping up.
So if you went out for the feature on a sticker, you'd
You'll be
Be in
ripping them
trouble.
up. Oh
yeah, you might regret it.
And Toledo's a little rough, so you'll be
Right.
and you're carrying a lot of speed in the turn, so it'll be ripping up. I think at the beginning of the year we ran with the ARCA cars, and that was our first race with the new tire, and we got one practice. I think it was 20 minutes, and that's not enough. And we went
Plus, it
right,
was still kind of cold out. I mean,
yeah, it was cold. It was probably 60 degrees out, but it was sunny, and we ran straight 35 laps, green white checkered, and tires were peeling up, chunking up, ripping up.
that's what happened to Ron, wasn't it? His tire came apart.
Yeah, there's a couple cords that just like ripped open, just like
wow.
So
gone.
do you think the tire issue will be addressed in the off season?
They say that it was a bad batch, which it
We're
could've
playing
been.
along.
Okay. So maybe the
Greg.
verdict's still out.
Greg, tell us about your sponsors.
So I also brought my cheat sheet.
Yours is a little higher tech.
Yeah, mine's a little high tech. I didn't write them down, but Fuse Tech, Hot Tech Group, Fast Lane Auto Care, Freeze Frame Photos, Smashing Toledo, Fisher Metal and Fabricating, and then of course Ron Miller Race Cars does a lot of help for us, parts. And
I've heard they're
pricing,
pretty good
so-
guys over there.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, they got a
so
pretty good deal going on right now. 10% off gift cards.
That's it.
Black Friday special.
We'll have to send some people over there to hook you up and us at the same time.
That
right?
works, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, your car is one of the few asphalt cars that shows up on a regular basis to the mall show, which apparently isn't happening this year down in Bowling Green. Do you feel like you represent the Toledo Speedway flat rack guys there?
Yeah, when we go and do that, for sure. I wish we could do a little bit more promotion stuff via the Speedway up here. It's kind of the odd man out down there. It's still fun. I mean, it's my
Yeah,
dad.
you're the only pavement car down
Yeah,
there versus
yeah.
you guys dirt cars and everything.
Right.
You know?
Well, how come you're not there, Mike?
I always
He's tried a couple of times.
I always have something going on that same weekend, you know. So-
Right.
And I think I've taken a car and the truck down there a couple times.
I thank my dad for taking it down there too.
I
'cause
remember
my
when-
consistency for
Scott,
it
I
is-
remember when the Stilwells first brought their car down there, they had pretty little rope stands all the way around it.
Don't touch this thing!
Don't
Ron
touch
was very mad at us.
it. What the hell are you guys doing?
He said, "Nobody's going to hurt that thing. Take those dang things down. Put them away."
It took a whole year worth of persuading, but now they
That was
really,
mostly Dad and Randy.
now they really enjoy putting the kids in the
I was
car.
going to, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So people can get in the car
And
now?
really, that's the coolest part, Scott, of doing those kind of promotions is putting the kids in it and seeing their eyes and wondering what's going through their minds.
Well, they're always looking for the key.
Yeah.
They're looking for the switch.
How can I get this thing
Yeah.
running?
Disconnected.
Well, they don't go that. Well, hopefully somebody picks up the ball with that mall show, or
Yeah.
even if it's somewhere else, whatever, because that's always fun to do.
It is.
I know that ARCA used to do it with Toledo and Flat Rock, but it's kind of that
There's not-
faded away. I guess we had to start paying to go to the mall or something.
There's not many
so-
malls left anymore. I mean,
No,
that are
there's nothing in the Monroe Mall. There's probably maybe 8 stores left in there.
That's kind of how it was down in BG too. So
And
if you want to get your bang for your buck, you got to go to Franklin Park or Westfield,
I'm
whatever
sure
you want
they
to call
won't
it.
that's probably not
too
going to
much.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to.
They used to, or they did it one year at
Yeah, we
the
did it
Franklin
once.
Park. But
Well, they did it
you
a few
always had to
years.
be there because there was a lot of riffraff going on and kids just.
Oh, they never have problems there.
No fights or nothing.
Nothing
Well,
at
it
all.
was kind of restricted too, wasn't it? Didn't they just have 8 or 10 cars?
Yeah, but it was scattered through the whole mall,
Right.
so
Yeah.
you still had
I've
to.
had my
big
car
mall.
in that mall.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of problems.
Back to Greg here. Are there any drivers that you look up to as like a mentor at all?
Probably back a little while now, but Carl Bumgardner. That's
that name.
where I started really getting into racing. I was hanging out around his car, and he was kind of showing me the way to be and carry yourself as a racer. And I would say he's probably my biggest racing influence. And then I always thought that he just did a good job. You know, he just represented racing well, and I don't know, it was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'd say he's probably my biggest idol locally. NASCAR, probably Bill Elliott was my favorite driver, and again back in the day. So,
I've heard some things about him from a sports reporter who's the sister of one of my friends. And since I can't share that, so
Really?
we'll just move on.
don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that
Oh,
bad.
okay.
Nothing terrible. What are your plans for next season?
Same thing. Go out there and
Silver
try to,
Cup or
Well, I think I'm like Mike. I'd like to try to tie them both down, and if we can't, we'll go after one or the other. So we'll see how it goes. The plan is to have the car completely together this year,
have the motor?
in a timely manner, and be there for the first race. So
Do you have a lot to do? Or
not really, not really.
have
I think we're pretty happy with what we got right now. It was working really well, so I don't want to change a whole lot.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, exactly.
You had talked earlier about racing with Ron Allen and Howard Kelly. Have you heard if those guys are coming back next year?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I'm sure they'll be back.
I mean, you hear
Most
about,
of the time, people say they're not, and then
you
when
hear
it's
about
time
Ron
to
Allen
go,
retiring, and that's
Yeah.
been going on for 15 years.
Right.
So.
I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure Howard will be there as well.
All right.
And Howard, I know, wants a Silver Cup really bad, so I think that he'll
If they even get a,
if we even have that.
Yeah.
So we'll
And
see.
and we know that Andy Harding will be back.
yeah, he'll
Yep.
be back. We're working on it.
It'd be nice to get a few more cars out there.
It would.
It would make for a good show. I think the racers out there, the quality of racing is pretty good for our group. So if we could get a few more guys, it would definitely make it a little more interesting for the fans. And we need to get them in the stands.
How were the crowds, Toledo and Flat Rock?
It was
this year?
awesome for Night of Destruction.
Yeah. I always look forward to that night. It's like we were putting on a good show for the Night of Destruction. Every time I had sponsors out or family get the suite or whatever, I'd always plan it on that night. So when everybody comes out, they're like, "Oh,
This is big deal.
yeah, this is a
Yeah.
big deal, right?"
I remember-
Strategic.
I saw some pictures in there. There's that Oakshade Remembers or whatever it is.
Right.
Some old photos from like the 80s or something. The stands are packed. I don't know if it was a special night or anything, but I guess you don't
Yeah,
really see that
you know-
for the weekly shows anymore.
That's how it used to be,
Yeah.
packed all the time.
So why isn't it packed all the time anymore?
You know, the administrator for that site. That's the one.
So what do you've been around the longest out of all of
Oh,
us
here we go.
55 years
Start
from what
with
I
the
hear.
old stuff, uh-huh.
Well, I don't think that any of us have reached the 55 years of existence. So
No.
what do
Probably
you
us combined, maybe.
maybe? So I mean, what in your opinion do you think the issue? I don't know if it's an issue.
Well,
it's just lack of interest.
Obviously,
anymore?
no, I don't think it's lack of interest. I think that family budgets are strained. It's very difficult for a family to show up every week. You know, you buy a couple of hot dogs, 2 kids, and mom and dad. You've spent $100.
A couple checkered flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much was it back in the 80s then for a family to go to the races?
Pit pass was $10, and
Okay,
of course at Oakshade hot dogs were $1.
which they still are.
Yeah.
So inflation hasn't really.
It's $1.50 at Toledo.
Yeah,
Flat Rock.
$1.50.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not bad
You know,
there.
whether it's the Silver Cup cars there or or the dirt late models or sportsmen, money has really gotten to be a big factor, Scott, on the racers' side, and that's led to
Increased costs for the racers? Is what you're saying? Okay.
absolutely, and that's led to smaller fields there, and there's just so many things for the fans to do. They're going to make it to the races once a month instead of every week, and then
There's a lot of options in Toledo now.
absolutely.
And by the time they get there, season's done or it's raining,
Right.
and they decide to go. And
Well, that's why a lot of tracks have decided to run limited or special event schedules only,
Yeah.
as opposed to the whole weekly thing. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a whole tangent there. Final question for Greg here. Same thing with the equally prepared minivans on the quarter mile. Are you going to go with Matt as being the winner?
Yeah,
in
I
that
think
one?
that's
I think
not even a
general
debate.
consensus is Matt's got that
Matt's
one covered.
the quarter mile.
That seems to be his thing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you too. So, I mean, would you say you're going to be the winner on the quarter mile?
Sure, sounds good.
Unanimous there. And what about on the half mile?
I'm gonna probably have to agree with Mike that it's gonna be a shootout, and I'm sure that's gonna be close. So
you got to have that bottom line with the front
yeah,
of the drive
it
car.
really it just really depends who's on the bottom. So
Well,
You
now
could-
with
they got bumpers. You can move them out of the way.
well, if we're
Now-
side by side, it's
now
gonna
to
be a
be
lot
fair-
of rubbing.
You got a door.
Maybe not a whole lot of bumping.
Scott, to be fair, with Matt's new car, he may have an edge running the outside that these guys have never experienced.
Matt's new car.
Yeah.
I run the outside, but not outside like you out by the berm
I started.
You gotta
running
run the
outside
cushion.
this year.
or the cushion.
Run the
whatever.
cushion.
You know,
You must not have paid any attention to the names that you were announcing in the sportsman division at Oakshade.
Nope, not at all.
because there's
sad.
probably
That's sad.
that's him.
That's sad, Scott.
The
Well, there's so many
that
cars
71?
out there, you know.
Right.
Or what did you change the number on it?
Sort of. I put 13 over
That's
it
right,
so
okay.
they know what car it was.
God.
Just,
All right, we'll get back to that shortly here. So, you guys are too politically correct with your half-mile minivan answers, but kind of non-committal there. But that's fine. Have you guys gotten into any altercations at all, either on the track or off the track?
I don't think so.
That's disappointing.
Mike doesn't like to talk to me. He stays over in his own little area.
Okay.
I'm pretty focused.
All right. Well, let's talk to Matt Ringer, the factory stock champion. This is your second championship, right?
second factory stock, yeah. I got one in the Enduro series in 2012, too.
When did you get your first factory stock?
2015.
2015. So you kind of spreading them out,
Yeah, yeah.
taking your time there.
Nothing in the X cars? You ran those too, didn't
I
you?
ran those, but I ran the same car. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when there's late models out there.
the
I
heck?
led a lot of laps, but then I got the wave as they went by. And
What were the X cars?
We'll let Matt explain that.
What are the X cars, man?
yeah, the X cars was kind of basically a run what you brung class on the quarter mile. They did
On
that
the quarter
on the
mile.
quarter mile.
But
yeah.
didn't they incorporate?
Wait, how come you weren't in it? You love run what you brung.
No
I-
sideboard.
I asked, and they said, "Nah." Didn't they a couple times incorporate part of the pit road?
Well, they kind of were doing
Road course.
the road course.
Yeah.
And actually, they had that scheduled one year as a factory stock point race, but then they're like, yeah, pit road's too bad to race on, so we're going to change that to an oval now. Oh, okay. Which was kind of good because I had the worst luck when they did run that road course. I ran like 2 laps out of the 4 times they ran it.
That's not good.
Now, usually something happened in the races before. I think 2 of them I had like my steering block just kind of go out as I was rolling back to the pits at the end of our normal feature. Then that was a special race at the end. I'm like, well, I can't run it like this, so.
Refresh my memory. How was that laid out?
Well, they changed it a few times, but basically, we go down pit road, come out on the back stretch on the half mile, run 3 and 4 on the half mile, come back out on the quarter mile, and one time we just kind of went through the intersection for the figure 8 cars. There's another time where they had us turn pretty much down turn 4 and run the quarter mile almost backwards and then go down pit road. But yeah, one time I almost got put on my roof on that. That was the one time I got to run 2 laps.
Oh,
So when did they run the X cars? Was that a few years ago?
X cars would have been 13 and 14
Okay,
because
I vaguely remember that. but-
my when I won the factory stock championship, that was the first year back for the factory stocks.
So what about this season? What's any particular thing that stands out in your mind that you're going to remember most? Any win?
Well, it was kind of a crazy year where it started out really good, where I won the first 3, won I think both heat race and feature the first 3 nights, and the 4th night was still pretty good, and then championship night was every bit of a disaster, and I was just glad to finish with enough points to keep the championship because I had one of them tires come apart in the heat race.
It was a bad batch,
So-
from what I hear.
Yeah,
All year.
That was a brand new one too, and
Then under caution, his radiator hose blew.
yeah, my rate in the feature on we had a caution 2 laps to go, and my radiator hose blew, and they had to dry up the water, and I'm rolling around under caution. I'm like, there's no water in this thing. The temperature gauge is pegged, and I'm like, oh, stay together, please, stay together, please. And when we went green, it made it. I finished 5th, and I needed.
What
at
was
least
your
be
temperature
7th.
at the end?
I don't know. It was pegged. That thing was broke. But, the next day we took it to my parents' house, and it started right up and drove in the barn. So we did a good job putting that one together.
still sitting in the same place? In the barn?
No, actually, my dad swapped out the motor for our older motor, and I ran the Enduro at the end of the season. That motor wasn't, it was
Right.
worn out, but so I was just kind of out there. But we got it back out there for that last race. So.
Cool.
So how does this championship compare to the first one? Factory
Well,
stock one.
this one I won races, and actually that first one I didn't win any of the races.
Just
I just
consistent?
was consistent. I won some of the heat races, I think, but I was top 5 every week, and just everything kind of worked out.
Besides your dad, who helps you with the car?
My friends and my family. My girlfriend usually scores for me when I do the enduros up at Flat Rock.
And another walleye
Yep.
garment. Nice hat there.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that at first. Sorry about that. Now, you purchased a dirt car.
Yes, I did.
And was this your first experience on dirt running this year?
Yep. Yeah.
Got a sportsman running out at Oakshade, right?
Yep.
Actually, he's got a couple of them.
A couple sportsmen.
Couple halves.
Put them together, you got a full car.
Right. Yeah.
So
Except they need motors, but
what's your opinion of racing on the dirt compared to the asphalt?
it's some things about it are about what I expected, and then some things are completely different. And it's like I'm still kind of learning, so I don't think I can accurately, tell you what's the difference. Right now I'm kind of trying to figure out how to enter the corner fast. Like I know the car is fast, and I'm like, just trying to learn, I guess. So.
Because on asphalt, you have to kind of ease into the corner, right?
Right, yeah. That's what I did the
dirt,
first
you
2
just
nights.
throw it in the
Yeah,
corner.
the last night I was starting to do that a little more, but I had a flat tire, and that ended.
No, you just ran 3 races this year, so you could keep your rookie status.
Yeah. So next year, I was gonna.
Yeah. So
run
what are
for
you,
rookie of the year next year?
what's the plans for next year? Are you
Uh,
all dirts,
that-
or are you doing both, or
Well-
what's going on?
The plan is that my brother's gonna buy my factory stock and run that next year. So.
Are
so
you
he'll
going
be
to help
doing
him
that.
out with that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's ran before. He had wrecked his car years ago, and the wife and 3 kids hasn't had time to get it back together. And I'm like, here, this one's pretty much ready to go.
It just got real hot one night.
Yeah, well,
It's
he's
fine though.
The motor in his old car is fine. He just needs to get, have it gone through and, put that in. That's his plan. I keep telling him, better get going. But,
So you're going to run the Sportsman at Oakshade in 2020 then?
yep, that's the plan.
For Rookie of the Year or Championship or both?
Well, I mean, really just
Whatever
rookie of the year,
happens.
but,
Whatever happens.
if
Depends
you
on
get
how things work
lucky
out.
and stuff happens, then you never know. But, that's, don't want to have too high expectations, I guess.
How about your sponsors?
Well, I had Denny's Time Out Tavern help me this year, and the Vault Antiques and Treasures, they sponsored both the Factory Stock and Enduro series. So
They're DeVoe Village.
I I believe they're out in Sylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all the sponsorship I had. So.
All right. Have to work on that over the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to manually make his camera work over there. He's kind of hidden behind the monitors for our
Oh, okay.
live viewers here. But he's over there. He really is. He's wait, that camera's probably going now. So last question then. The minivan question. You already answered. You're the quarter mile king there, which sounds like a drag racing kind of thing. But on the half mile, what do you think? You think you got something for these guys? Equally prepared minivans from Ron Miller Race Cars.
Well, while they're battling side by side, those things will make a huge hole in the air, and hopefully I'll draft and either slingshot by them or they'll wreck each other. That'd be my strategy.
All right. So Matt's got it covered.
He's
the
definitely
minivan
not afraid
master.
to take the win.
Well, we'll give it to him. Congratulations Congratulations on your championships,
Thank you.
all three of you guys,
Thank you.
and thanks for coming in tonight. Move on to how many. I don't know if you guys are familiar with how many, but each week we pick some random thing to guess how many things are going to. Anyways, just follow along. Last week we picked how many points the Browns would score as they took on Pittsburgh last Thursday night. Wow. And that we didn't realize that was going to turn into a lot of people getting suspended and people getting hit over the heads with helmets. We didn't think it would be that
I
bad.
thought he was just trying to put his helmet back on.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, he just missed. That's all.
It was friendly favor.
Anyway, the Browns did score 21 points. So our in-studio winner was me because I picked 23 and I was closest. I didn't cheat. I just guessed.
What round pick?
I don't know. I didn't write it down. I got that. It's upstairs in my office.
How do you know you won?
I think it was
Because he said he did. Yeah, he keeps
because
score.
I have it written down. I just didn't. Anyways, online winner Tim Fisher. He picked exactly
Really?
21 points.
I think I picked 9 because I think they were
3 field goals or something.
3 field goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the stagnant offense.
So and they won. So cool. So yay me.
Wow.
But Tim Fisher, I guess he gets a Big D's pizza.
All right.
You're with Dean Henry there online. If you want to play along with us, you can do so in the comments on our Facebook Live. This week's How Many? We're going to go a different sport this week.
Yeah.
The Toledo Walleye are back in town, and I'm glad you guys wore some walleye garb other than the Stilwell. That's cool, too. Just wish you would have brought some for us.
Yeah, it's just a new gear. You got to sport it.
Oh, speaking of which, before we do this week's How Many, where can people get Stilwell Racing?
You can keep an eye on our Facebook page, Stilwell 47 Racing, and we just completed this order, and with enough interest, we're probably going to do something again in February. So if somebody wants something,
Christmas presents.
absolutely.
Mike, you guys have any swag?
Yeah, we do. Just have to find me on Facebook or my fan page, Mike Young fan page, and just shoot me whatever size you need, and we'll get the price. And
Very good.
ordered. And
What about you, Matt?
Not yet.
Not yet. I can understand
Work
that.
in progress.
Yeah, we're good, Bryce. I've been thinking about it, but haven't gone through with it.
So this week's How Many goals will the Toledo Walleye score in Saturday's game at the Huntington Center against the Kalamazoo K-Wings?
That's stupid, Scott. I mean, it's going to be 3.
All right,
And-
well, I'm putting you down for 3.
All right.
Apparently you're guessing first. I was going to have our guess first. But,
All right, we'll let them go.
We'll start with Matt. How many goals for the Walleye on Saturday?
I don't know. Last time I saw them, they did score 9, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that again. I'll say 5.
All right. What do you got, Greg?
I was going to do 3, but I'll take 4.
No, give him 3.
3?
I'll go 4. Give me
4?
4.
All right, we're giving you 4. What do you got?
I'll go 2 with the overtime scoring goal.
Wow.
Ooh,
Bonus
ooh.
on that. What do you got, Kathy?
Well, heck, 6 taken.
6 is available. This one's going to be a little tighter here.
Yeah, Scott.
And I'm going last, so I don't have an advantage.
Yeah, I
So what do you got? We got
You can take 1 or 7 now.
yeah, we got 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 already taken.
oh,
So.
I thought 3 was mine.
Oh wait, yeah, because you are 3.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I
you
took
already-
4. I took 4.
You're right. So that leaves
Come
me
on,
with.
Scott. Keep it up, man.
So I got to take 1 or 7. Oh, sorry, Walleye. We're going to go with a 1. hope Kalamazoo doesn't score at all. Again, you can play online. Just put your guess in the comments, and the first one to guess, if there's multiple guesses of the same number, which there probably will be with this one, first one that guessed it will get it. So, Big D's Pizza,
Okay.
Dean Henry. So that's it for how many? No upcoming races other than Sandusky Speedway. You guys ever race the Hangover race, New Year's Day?
I've watched my dad and family do it years ago.
Is it too cold for you guys?
Did it once.
Eh.
And from what I heard, at least at the time, it was the worst weather condition because it was ice and then it melted and then it froze and then it melted and it froze.
That makes it more fun.
Yeah.
It's an
I was
equalizer.
off the track a lot.
A lot of people end up off the track there. But New Year's Day, Sandusky Speedway, that's our next race in our neck of the woods, the 45th annual Wild Bill Hart Hangover Race. We'll get more details.
Doesn't
on
Ron
that.
pretty much own that place?
He's except for last year. He did not win last year.
My kid kicked my butt last year.
Steve Miller in the Ron Miller Race Car Domination Race Car Hybrid.
Yeah.
Was it a hybrid back then?
No,
or
no.
it
was,
became a hybrid
It was
over the
straight
summer?
out of the box.
It was
Miller race cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were beat with your own equipment.
Yeah. Not only that,
His own motor, too.
it was my backup motor.
And you were running your Outlaw, weren't you?
Maybe.
Wow. Well, we'll see if that happens again on January 1st.
To be honest, he did park me behind a lap car.
As I recall, he kind of pulled away from you, though.
I thought I was getting a flat tire, but that's another story.
So we're off next week for Thanksgiving. Have a happy
Well, we can't do
Thanksgiving,
this
everybody.
on Thanksgiving.
We could.
You'd be here alone.
Probably. I'm not going to, so, and I'm sure people probably have other things to do. Things, be with your family. And then next summer, be at a racetrack, right?
Every week.
Fill the seats, bring your friends, show them how much fun it is.
We need to do that.
So we're coming back in 2 weeks with our Attica Champions show. Doug Drown is going to be joining us in the studio. We've got DJ Foose lined up, still working on Jamie Miller. I haven't heard back from him yet.
Very good.
But we'll get those champions on the show. Again, that's 2 weeks from tonight.
Brian going to
So
be
it's
in the
gonna be
studio with us?
December. Brian.
This guy?
I don't know. Maybe I should try and get him for that show, too.
That'd be
I was
good.
like, is he a champion? Well, I'll invite Brian Liskey as well. He'll have
Very
some
good.
insight on those guys out there,
Absolutely.
since he sees them every week.
He would understand.
I'd hope so, because I don't. I clearly have no clue. Make sure to listen to Hammer Down Racing Report on iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also check out rebroadcasts on YouTube, our Facebook page. Follow us there, like us there. Follow us on Twitter, @Hammer Report. Yeah, that's what it is. @Hammer Report. I have it written down. I'm just not looking. So, again, that's it. We're off for 2 weeks back in December with Attica Show. Again, thanks for coming in, you guys. Matt Ringer, Greg Stilwell.
And thanks, everybody,
Okay.
for listening.
Yeah. Don't eat too much turkey.
Not a chance.
All right. See you in 2 weeks. We're out.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.